Hola Mariana, buenas noches. No, en realidad no tengo frío, en realidad no hace frío, hay mucha humedad, hace 23 grados, em, pero es como, este suéter es muy livianito y es como muy esponjosito, entonces no, parece como pesado, pero no, es muy livianito, pero no, frío no hace, hay mucha humedad, muchísima humedad. 23 grados. Oh, aquí en Mendoza venden unos así, pero son como del grueso de una sábana. Oh, no, es pesado. Este es muy livianito, es muy livianito. Da la sensación que es pesado, pero no, es muy livianito. Decidí usarlo porque todo el mundo está con el tema de rosa de Barbie, de por la película de Barbie, y dije, ah, bueno, yo también tengo que ponerme algo rosa. Me encanta el rosa, me encanta. Eh, entonces dije, bueno, no tengo otra cosa en rosa, voy a dejar esto puesto. Pero sí, podría haberme puesto algo más liviano, por ejemplo. Pero dentro de mi casa, em, si bien se nota la humedad, está como fresco el piso, es como que a medida que va cayendo la noche se pone como fresco. Así que por las dudas no me lo saqué porque al estar sentada y al estar no moverme mucho, de seguro en algún momento voy a tener frío. Entonces me lo dejé. Mi hermana lo vi ayer, dijo que estaba muy bueno. ¿Cuál? Ah, la de Barbie. No, no. Estaba planeando ir con una amiga que es muy fanática de ir al cine y como que nuestras salidas siempre son ir al cine y ella es como muy fanática del cine en general. Y en realidad queríamos ir, porque tenemos estas dos partes, ¿no? En donde, hey Samara, em, we're talking about the Barbie movie, guys. So yeah, we were talking with Mariana because I was telling her she asked me if I saw it, if I watch it. And I'm making plans with my friend that she loves to go to the cinema. She loves to go watch movies. And actually, we both love it. And we first want to see is it, how is it? Oppenheimer, is it? I don't remember exactly the word. We want to see that one first, and then we want to see Barbie. But yes, they say that the Barbie movie is actually very good. My friend, she is a huge Ryan Gosling fan. So, she was a bit like not so happy about him playing this role. She was like, no, oh my God. But my brother told me he saw a girl with a cowgirl Barbie costume at the movies. Yes, there's a lot of people that actually are like dressing like Barbies to go to the premiere, to go watch the movie. Yeah, it's that huge of a deal. Like, I don't know if I would do that. I would wear something pink, definitely. But I don't know if I would go dress up like a Barbie. I don't think so. But I've seen a few TikToks of people doing this. Uh, they are very excited. It's like, reliving your childhood all over. I think that the grown-ups are more excited than actually the children. And I'm sure that also that's something that I told um, my my friend, that we should pick a date that there's not is not so crowded, because we are in winter break these 2 weeks. So there's a lot of children, a lot of children outside, like a lot of parents and just people like taking their children to the cinemas, to to different like events. So it's very crowded. It's very crowded. Everyone is going out. Okay, guys, I'm going to start. I know that this says that we have 3 people, so I'm going to start because I don't want to take that long with this analysis. It's for ITZY members, so you know that ITZY members, it's 4 members, so it's going to be very brief. But yeah, we're going to go with the girls today. So yes, a lot of like feminine energy, thank God. So yeah, I was thinking about, I'm going to start with the leader. Is Yeji the leader? Yeah, I believe she is. And in her case, she has Venus. Kids today don't know about the golden age of Barbie movies. Actually, when the Barbie movies came out, I wasn't like a child. I was an adult, but I did watch a lot of those with my nephews and with my nieces. So it would always be playing in the background, like that kind of Actually, we would play it all day long, so we would have them entertained. But yeah, I remember the Barbie movies, yes. But when I was younger, those things didn't exist. Just the movie. Just the dolls, not movies, not anything of that sort. But yeah, let's continue with astrology, and yes. In the case of Yeji, because we're going to start with her, she has Venus in Gemini. So again, we are talking about a placement that we had mentioned before when we talk about Chinese members and also about other people. Yeah, she has a lot of Gemini. She is a Gemini. Her Mars is also in Gemini. So she's this basically. So I think that in this case, in this oracle, this placement Venus in Gemini, we have the card of flattery. So I think that in the case of Yeji, probably this placement is very important. Just the Gemini energy is very much integrated in her. So I don't think that this is just about her romantic life. It's about herself in general. Usually people that have that, that Sun and that Venus, if they are conjunction, if they are very close together, if they are very like this, in the same house, there's a lot of influence, like Sun and Venus conjunction. People are very attractive, like they actually have this Venus energy integrated in their personality. Like for them, to be flirtatious, to be romantic, to be attractive, to connect with love, is about showing themselves or showing the trait of that sign. In this case, we're talking about the Gemini. So Venus in Gemini for Yeji feels like, for her, feeling in love or integrating these Gemini characteristics to attract someone is actually being herself. It's about her own nature. It's about showing up as she is, and connecting a lot with this Gemini. That in this card we have the keyword of flattery. That I think that it's very fitting for the way a Gemini placement would seduce you. There's a lot about communication and probably being very flattering, like being like really flattering the person that you're attracted to or that you feel romantic towards. So I can see them like, initiating a communication with that person, but also saying very nice things to that person, being like, oh, like I really like you, and being very like proactive when it comes to communication. It's like if I feel something for you, I'm going to communicate it. I'm going to say it because I feel like I need to speak about it. I need to put it into words. I cannot keep it in. There's this need of like, like if I am talking to you, it's because I'm interested. If I'm not interested, I will not be starting a conversation with you, And since she is a Gemini, that Geminis usually they talk a lot. Maybe the difference could be in how the communication intensifies. If you see them like having long conversations with someone in specific, it's because they really like that person. But yeah, I think that also is very nice of this placement to think about this double face. Like I don't think that Gemini represents like double face people, like some say. I think that it's about their duality and that they are always like ready to fall in love, to somehow like it's like they can be talking to you and then they can be talking to someone else. Like their attention is very much like it's not focused. It's like very much like certain branches. You see like the branches, like the branch here of the tree, like it expands everywhere. So for them, like if they feel romantic towards someone, it can be that they feel this for different people, or they start the communication with several, possible suitors, and then eventually they decide who is the one. But probably, they are like they keep their options open. This is something that a Gemini would do. They keep, and probably this also talks about them being friendly, because if we think about Venus, is an affectionate, it's a romantic placement, but it also talks about different kinds of bonds. It can be like the way they feel about their friendships. So a Venus in Gemini is all about like having a lot of connections, having a lot of friends, or maybe dating different people, having experience in love. But I think that what a Venus in Gemini would call experience in love, probably it means like, oh, I texted that person before, or we flirted through messages. It's all in the mind. It's a kind of like flirting, but maybe they never had anything physical. But it's about, the DMs, like, oh, this person DM me and I answer, or I DM this person. It's all about like what you do online. Maybe it can be like online dating, or you just talking to people through text and being flirtatious. But when it comes to reality, this a Venus in Gemini is not something that I would be like, oh yeah, that was a proper relationship, or that was cheating, for example. You know that there's this debate about if, you know, DMing someone if you're in a relationship is like cheating. Well, a Venus in Gemini would be like that person that just, you know, maybe they are happy in the relationship and they just, you know, open communication or are willing to start conversations with the opposite sex, and for them it's nothing. I mean, for them it's not like, oh, I'm in love. It's more like, I like to talk. I like to talk. I like to keep communicated. Like, and they definitely enjoy the gossip. So if, you know, you want to get their interest, you have to start talking about, you know, just random things that you know, and you will get their attention, definitely. Venus in Gemini are mysterious. You never know with them. Yeah, I think I once started seeing someone that was a Taurus guy, that he had like Venus and Mars, I believe, in Gemini. I know this because he asked me. I want you to picture these conversations. Like somehow I told him that I was into astrology, or I believe he was following me. He was following me my old Instagram, and he saw that I always share something about astrology or about my books. And he started like making conversations during, you know, the breaks that we used to have at work, and he would show a lot of interest and curiosity, you know. And he would always like try to meet with me during our break, you know. And he was like all communicative, and he really was like, you know, always willing to start a conversation with me, you know, and always willing to be next to me. So I knew that he was interested. Me not so much because he was very young for me, but you know, he was nice. And I'm a Venus in the third house, so I'm like a Venus in Gemini as well. So I like to chat. You know, guys, you know me. There's in this there's no mystery. Um, and we started like talking about astrology, and he was like, oh, please tell me more, and we would spend hours and hours, and I actually did it because I enjoy talking. You know, when you talk about something that you love or that you're very passionate about, I mean, I just talk, you know. Um, so and everyone, like an outsider or people that would pass by and they saw us like chatting, they would be like, oh, are you dating that guy? Oh, because, you know, he always comes and talks to you, and he's always willing to talk to you, and he's always like looking to start a conversation with you. He's so into you. And I'm like, but we're just friends. Like, I was just like talking, you know, we talk because we read the same books or we are interested in the same books. But then, you know, just talking with him, you know, he also had a crush on other girl that worked with us, but in a different building. But I knew her as well, and she was a Gemini. So I was like, I always laughed about that because he had a thing, even though he was a Taurus, his Venus in Gemini was very much into people that he perceived as intelligent. So, like, for me, I actually wasn't that interested. I don't know what happened of him, but I remember that he would always come during our lunch time or our break, and my job, just sit and talk to me, just sit and talk to me. And he would be very consistent. You know, I would see that he would like come near me and would be like, okay, at what time are you going, you know, on a break? Like, are you going to your lunch break? So, you know, I will see if I can go too. But for me, it's like, how young? No, not so young. I mean, I believe he was like 6 years younger than me. 6 years, I believe, 6 years. But I don't know. I just think that he was like really nice, like really handsome. You know, like the typical Taurus guy, very very gentleman, very beautiful as well. But I don't know, I sensed that there was, and we would talk about it because we would talk about his birth chart. He was a moon in Cancer. So he had something about, he was a moon in Cancer and a Cancer rising. So he had a lot of emotions in the first house. He was a lot of Cancerian energy. And he was like in the cusp between Aries and Taurus. So he was in the 0 degrees of Taurus. But he would often tell me that he always felt like an Aries person, not so much like a Taurus. So, but he was a Taurus because his sun was in the 0 degrees. But yeah, it was in the cusp, so it makes sense that he felt probably more like an Aries, you know. But yeah, that was my experience with a Venus in Gemini, and my Venus and Mars in the first house. I felt like we connected really well. It's just that I felt like he was very confused in life, very confused in life. So I didn't see him like, you know, a potential someone. You know, I sense him very lost, you know, because of that moon in the first house. He would tend to, you know, um, smoke a lot, and not regular cigarettes, the other cigarettes. So he would be like, sometimes he would be high. So, you know, I think that he really needed to, he was so nice, but he really needed like an excuse to be out of reality. So for me, it was like, yeah, it's nice talking to you, it's nice connecting with you, but like, yeah, like for me, I was like, I don't know, I sensed, and this was energetic, you know, I sensed that maybe if he was a bit more stable, more of a Taurus probably, and not so much of, and also it was very interesting because the other girl that he was interested in, the other Gemini, she also had like problems with substances, and she was under a lot of medication because she was depressive. So, you know, they sort of like mirror each other. They were like a couple made in the, you know, evasion and hardships kind of a scenario, you know. And for me, it was for me to observe them, you know, without judging, of course. You know, I didn't know his story, what led to him feeling like this, but I sensed that he had a lot of issues, you know, and probably he wanted to know about astrology because he was trying to find a reason why he felt so lost, you know, even though he wasn't that, like, I believe that when I met him, he was like 27. So, you know, but he did give me immature vibes, even though he was 27. So, and the other girl too. So I guess that, you know, they had that in common, and I just saw it as an outsider. And even though I really like him, I was like, no, you know, I run away from moon in Cancer people, guys. I dated one, like when they say that they have rising in Cancer, moon in Cancer, I run away. Like I know they are bad news for me because they have that vulnerability, you know, and they are very open about it. And even if they don't talk about it, you can sense in their energy that they are somehow broken or just very sensitive, and they don't know how to set boundaries. They just maybe tell you about their traumas the first time they meet you. And I was like, I was not into that in that moment, you know, like I was like, I think that I also felt a bit of pity of him, you know, because I was like, oh, I'm a stranger, why are you telling me all this? But, you know, Venus in Gemini, Mars in Gemini, you know, this like, I want to tell you about me, like, and please, if you have another knowledge, please let me know, like, what can we talk about? You know, he will always find a new, this is something that I found very, like, you know, admiring, is that he would always come up with a new subject to talk about. Always. Like, it wasn't us struggling to find a subject of conversation. He would always find something new to talk about. And me, as the Venus in the first house that I am, I also have, you know, another point of view, you know, another vision, or, you know, I'm willing to add more information. So, yeah, but yeah, I don't see them like someone that it was to be taken seriously. And I don't think, honestly, when I see this card, the card of flattery, and also what comes to my mind is the word of flirting. You know, that even though he was, maybe others saw it like, you know, he would always come and talk to me and spend time with me, and we would just, it felt very intellectual, like having a conversation with a friend, you know, and someone that you really like. But is this romantic? It wasn't romantic for me. You know, I didn't see it. I just saw us like hanging out and just talking about things. But yeah, it could be also a sign of a Venus in Gemini, you know, being romantic or being flirty. But he had this, I sense that he was always like ready to meet someone new, you know, or ready to go and talk to someone else. This is something that he also had, that I was like, there's no way this guy is interested in me. Because he would always have very interesting conversations with other people as well. So, you know, it wasn't like, oh, he's just doing it to me, you know, and that's why for me, I didn't take it seriously. I was like, he's always nice, talkative, communicative, very intellectual, you know, he always looks at you in the eye, he's a good listener, you know, he's very smart, he's very knowledgeable. So I was like, he's like this with everyone. You know, even when we were in a group of other people, and other people would be with us, he would like ask the right questions, he would always be paying attention, he would always be, you know, so I was like, you know, this is not romantic, but maybe for a Venus in Gemini is like this. When they talk to you, there's an intention to seduce you through intellect, you know. For them, it's the way they love, very mercurial. Yes, definitely. Yes, Samara, that's Cancer rising. Imagine that Cancer rising in there, in the first house, and the moon being in the first house. And I think that Chiron was also in the first house. So there was something about him having a wound with his mother, you know, and it was very obvious that he had issues with his mother. Like, I don't know, I think he did tell me something about it, you know, that he was still living with their parents. You know, this is something that strong Cancer placements, especially moon, rising, they continue to live with their parents even when they are, you know, they are like adult enough to move away or move out. But yeah, they have this very like toxic relationship with their parents where they complain about their mother, but they also live under the same roof. So, you know, it's like you complain about your mother, but you cannot leave your mother, you know, like. Once I had a friend with Sun and Moon in Cancer and Pisces rising. They are so sensitive. Yeah, definitely I sense that this guy was dealing with something because, like I told you, he was always like, you know, under the influence. Not all the time, but I did notice that he would smoke before entering to work. You know, I would see him like, you know, and I would be like, oh, okay, so you cannot function without that substance. So I get it. But he was very nice. You know, he was very nice, very polite. Like, that's why I love, you know, to talk to him, and we will hang out and have lunch together outside in a park, you know, and it was amazing. But I seen that, yeah. They complain about their relatives, but they forgive them so easily. Yeah. 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 Yeah, but for the men it's different. The wound with the mother, it feels different, you know, because it feels like an obstacle, especially when they are in front of a female, you know, that they always bring out their mother. in the conversation. You know, it's like, and it's not the typical mama's boy, you know, that you're like, oh, you're a mama's boy. I get it. Like, your mom is like, she takes care of everything and she tells you how to live. This is more about, I'm upset that my mom didn't take care of me. But even though I despise her, like, I always bring her up. And when a guy is doing it and I'm listening to it, it's like, I'm like, oh my, like, you need to work on this, on therapy, and then come back. Because, you know, because it seems like he will find his mother in every female that he encounters. You know, it's very palpable. Like, you can feel it. Like, yeah, mommy issues. That. Okay, so I'm sorry guys that we are ranting about this instead of talking about Yeji, but yeah, that's basically the placement. And I think that for her, you know, being a Gemini sun, being a Mars in Gemini, she's the whole Gemini package. So I definitely see him being very flirtatious, being very communicative, being very nice, being very, also very bright, because you have the sun next to Venus. So it's all about, like, I show myself when I love, I show the best traits of my own personality. It's not like she takes the attribute of a sign that is totally different. No, she becomes more a Gemini when she is attracted to someone, and probably she's also attracted to people that are very intelligent, that she can have a conversation with. You know, she values that the most, you know, the possibility to exchange information, you know, someone that talks to her, like, and you know, I think that what I mentioned about connections and about, you know, messages and using the telephone, I think that this girl, if she's so busy, she could very well have like an online relationship, you know, distance relationship, as long as the communication is there, and as long as she talks to this person, she messages this person, and she can do it as many times as she wants, and she can talk for hours and hours and hours non-stop. She will continue, you know, believing in that bond and believing that that's a relationship and that actually she has feelings, like, you know, that's romance, you know, when the communication is alive. When you don't give them communication, when you don't want to talk, when you don't want to express what's going on, that's when they sort of like look somewhere else, because they're like, it feels like I'm talking to a wall. So if you're not willing to communicate with me, if you cannot stand the sound of my voice, or if you just don't like the way I communicate, then I'm not the person for you. Because when I like someone, I like to talk, I like to communicate. Okay, and I'm going to pull a card from the oracle, from this astrological oracle, to see how she can like integrate better this Venus. And she got the card of Sagittarius, expand. She got the card of Sagittarius, expand. So I think that definitely for Yeji to be able to connect more and better with this Venus is to be able to integrate the Sagittarius energy and to expand. You know, and when I think about expand, I think that it's about like going one step further than just established communication. It's like being brave and get out there. Like, get out there and go and meet that person. There's something about, I don't know if she has like a long distance relationship or something that is like maybe the person is living somewhere else or they are far away, and she has to, at some point, she has to make this very important decision about expansion, about probably living overseas or just going to a different country to be with the person that she loves, or to see that person, you know, to see them, just to meet them, to visit them. There's something about a very Sagittarius energy that is like, expand the bond. Do not just leave it into just plain communication, because the fire, the excitement is going to run out eventually. You know, it's more like, okay, it's great that you have this communication. We know that you're very busy, probably she doesn't have time to see her potential partner, But, you know, with the card of Sagittarius expand, it's like, come on, make it more fun, make it more dynamic. Like, go out there, visit them, like go with them, travel with them. I don't know, like make something up and be like, okay, let's go overseas where no one knows us. Like, but there to expand the bond. You know, do not just keep it in here, in the intellect, but allow yourself to connect more with the fun side of having a partner. You know, about let's go out there, let's do things together, let's travel, like let's go. I know that if we think about her career and what she does for a living, I think that, you know, to be able to escape and just I don't see her like traveling overseas to do this, but maybe just going out there, you know, going to the park, you know, and just, you know, finding time. You know, if Jenny and Chaeryeong can go to Paris with their bodyguards and their managers, you know, and just have a small date, why can't she have this with her potential partner? And there's something about like do not settle just with communication. Like go out, do more fun couple things, you know, like be more fun. Move the body, like go out there. Okay, then I'm going to move on to Leah. Leah, she's a Cancer sun and she has Venus in Leo. So Leah is you know, since she is a Cancer and we had read for Cancer idols before, you know that they get Venus in Leo is very is a very like normal placement. Often a lot of Cancer have Venus in Leo because of the proximity of Cancer and Leo. So yes, you know, like what we were mentioning the other day about the Venus in Leo, about, you know, them wanting this very dramatic, very fun, also very much like I want to be adored. I want you to treat me like I'm number one. Like I really want you to I really want you to appreciate me and treat me like a queen. You know, I definitely see her like probably she, you know, she can be very emotional and also very understanding and sensitive in a lot of areas of her life, but probably when it comes to, you know, attracting someone or feeling attracted to someone romantically, she embodies this Leo energy and she becomes a bit more demanding. You know, she sort of becomes a bit of a diva, you know, a bit like, okay, I want to be your center of attention. Like, I want to be in the spotlight. I want you to only look at me and I want you to praise me and I want you to see me and admire me and I want to be your number one priority. And she also probably wants to have a partner that is very fun, you know, someone that is very outgoing, someone that is not like her, you know, probably she's also very, you know, a homebody. She probably is someone that she loves to be home because she's a Cancer. But eventually, when it comes to romance, there's this Leo energy. So the potential in here is about like, I want to show a more flirtatious side of myself. You know, I want to go out there. I want to have fancy dates. I want you to pay attention to me. I want you to buy me flowers. I want to have fancy dinners. I want you to put the effort for me because my ego, you know, that is the Leo placement, my ego knows that I'm worth it. So it's all about, you know, like embracing this, that I really want, you know, the whole celebration. I want things to be special. I want you to put the effort to impress me because I actually feel like a queen. You know, I want to feel like this. I want the fairy tale. She also probably just wants the drama. You know, it's not like she would expect the relationship to be always fine, but she would want the drama a bit, you know, to play hard to get, you know, to get a bit of emotions in there, you know, a bit of instability, to see how the person will react, you know, sort of like living a soap opera, you know, where she is the protagonist and there's this handsome guy that is here to save the day and to save her and to just, you know, serenade her and all those things. Celebrities. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think that definitely she wants that. She wants the fairy tale. And she also probably like takes care a lot of her image when she's in love or when she's interested in someone. She's like she puts the best of the best to stand out or to look very beautiful, to take care of her appearance. It seems like you know when a Venus in Leo is around someone that they like because they take so much extra care in their image, even though they're usually very beautiful. But there's something about the way they move, the way they show themselves, the way they present themselves, that you're like, oh, you're trying to get someone attention, right? It's very obvious that you're doing this. Like I can see it. Like usually, yeah, like Venus in fire signs, just like any fire sign placement, is going to be flashy. Is going to be out there in your face. It's going to be evident because they want to be seen. They want to express it. A Venus in a fire sign is always going to want to stand out. They don't want to be average. They don't want to, be one in the whole crowd. They demand respect at the same time. They demand respect and attention and devotion. So yeah. But yeah, with Leah, it's interesting because I believe she has a lot of water placements. I believe her moon is also in Pisces, so there's something about her being very soft, very feminine, very ethereal, romantic, like a dream girl. But once her Venus in Leo activates, she becomes very brave about going after the guy that she wants, and she's very competitive. So you shouldn't like put a label on her and be like, oh, she's so nice, she's so sweet, she's so cute. No, she can be a femme fatale. She can be a femme fatale. She can connect with her passionate self and actually like just transform herself into this very, this goddess. Oh, also her Mars is in Cancer. Yeah, like maybe this Venus in Leo is like, don't put a label on my energy, because actually I can be very passionate once I feel the attraction. Um, so yeah, let's see what card she got. In order to integrate better her Venus, we got the card of progressions, the card of progressions, and the keyword is travel or journey. So I think that definitely there's something here with these progressions, that definitely her Venus in Leo also it's an energy that she needs to keep making advances to work on this energy, like it's a whole self-discovery travel or journey for her. That as much as she can connect with this Venus in Leo and connect with her romantic side, the more she's going to progress in her energy. Probably Venus in Leo, because it's so bright and it's so intense and it's so magnificent, it's like, come on, like, progress, like keep advancing. Don't be afraid of this energy. Like don't tone it down, because usually when you have a lot of water placements, there's a lot of self-sabotage, in the feeling that, oh, I don't think I'm worth it. I don't like to bring too much attention to myself. I'm very low-key. I'm very humble. I don't like to cause all this fuss. I don't like all these people staring at me. And Venus in Leo is like this very strong energy, very feminine energy that is like, you are meant to be this goddess. You are meant to be treated like a queen. Your Venus in Leo is like inspiring you to be brave when you are in love. It's not something that probably she doesn't like the way she feels when she starts to feel this Venus in Leo start to arise, because it's very different for who she is. Like the other energies that she has are very calm, are very, a bit shy, a bit like traditional and just like I don't like to bring attention to myself. And then the Venus in Leo is like, no, you have this energy. And this energy is the possibility for you to travel, to use that energy to keep advancing. Like don't resist it, like don't keep it in, show it, like pull, like expel it, like just let it be. Let it be. Here with the journey is like this energy needs to be released. It cannot be hid. I don't know if maybe it's because of her, if there's something about the way she was raised, or if she has like some religious factors that is like, no, I don't like to act like this. I think that I'm being too provocative, or I have all these eyes on me. But Venus in Leo wants to stand out. Venus in Leo wants to be seen, wants to be sexy, wants to be passionate, wants to be fiery, and probably for her it's like, no, I shouldn't be like this. This is not okay, and with this card of progression, it's like, let it be. Like, let it be. And probably for her it's going to be her journey, it's about accepting this Venus, but accepting with time, progressing slow, just integrating. Maybe after she turns, maybe, I don't know, 30 or 40, she will finally connect with this pride of being dispassionate, of being a Venus in Leo, of being a Venus in Leo. And not being so shy about it, or feeling so overwhelmed, like, oh, this is not me, like, I don't like it, and yes, it's a part of her. It's okay. It's okay, if she can stand out, and if she has the need and the desire to be this magnificent diva in a relationship, she can be demanding, she can be dramatic if she wants to. It's okay. It's part of her feminine self. It's her style of seduction. It's a trait. So yeah, to talk about the next fire Venus, we have Ryujin. Ryujin is an Aries. We know that Ryujin is an Aries, and she has Venus in Aries at the same time. So, she's also someone that probably has a conjunction of her Sun with Venus very close. So, being passionate is her trademark, is part of her personality, being very passionate, being very lustful, being very impulsive, being very straightforward about like, okay, I feel attracted to you, I like you, you like me, let's go, and I think that she also has like a Mars in Sagittarius, and maybe her Mercury is also in Aries. Hey, Akira. So there's something about, Ryujin, just, being passionate, and this being part of her personality, and not being that complex, that she actually is also someone that for her to be passionate, or for her to be intense in relationships, and not to be able to hide it, and in her being like, yeah, I like that guy, and that guy also likes me, so yeah, let's go. Like, I've been surrounded by all these female Aries during my whole life, so I know how they flirt. I know that they are very like straightforward when it comes like, I like that guy, I'm going to go and talk to him, or I'm going to go and have a drink with him. I know how they flirt. They usually like don't waste time. They don't waste time. And of course that this maybe it depends because of her culture and the society, and how society views this, this attitude. Maybe she hides it, but also because if we think about Venus in Aries, Aries is a masculine placement. So a Venus in Aries woman, usually they feel very masculine in love. They feel like they usually are the ones that initiate things in the romance. They are the ones that take the lead. They are the ones that are more courageous than the guys. Maybe the guys, the guy that they like is very passive, and they are like the ones that are like, okay, like you and me, we like each other. I know you like me. So yeah, what you're going to do about it? There's something about them being very proactive about who they like, and not feeling like embarrassed about it, because Also, her being in Aries, there's something about her also embracing that she's a passionate female and that she is like this. You know, there's no, here there's no pretending, there's no mask, there's no double face, there's no mystery. In here, she is full, lustful person. And when she likes someone, she likes that person. Will it last forever? We don't know. Probably not. But they love the chase. They love the, you know, the flirtation. They love the intensity, you know, when you feel that attraction and you cannot help it. You know, for them it's all about like, okay, I feel all this for this person, like what, I have to do something about it. I cannot just keep it in, all in me, because I'm going to burn myself. So I cannot keep all my passion in. I need to release it. I need to show it. I need to do something with this. You know, so they are very straightforward, very honest about their desires, about what they want, who they want. If you ask them, okay, who do you like? They will tell you, I will like this person. You know, no mystery, no anything. And they are very courageous. I actually do admire their style a lot. The style of females that have Venus in Aries, I admire them a lot because I also have my Venus conjunction my Mars. So even though it's not on a fire sign, if Venus is next to Mars, it is also like it's a Venus that is influenced by Mars. So it's like having a Venus in Aries. So sometimes I do find especially when I was younger, I did find myself in situations where I would know right away if I liked someone. You know, I would know right away, like, oh, I like that guy, or you know, I made my mind, like I'm going to go and talk to them, and that's it, you know, or I'm going to go on a date with them in a couple of hours, you know. And when I don't like someone, I also know it. When I don't like someone, I don't leave that person waiting. I'm like, even though I'm a Venus in Pisces, I'm not that evasive. Actually, I know initially I know what I like. Like, I know when I feel that attraction. And if I don't feel it, I know it too. And I'm very honest about it. So I think that also knowing Venus in Aries females, there's something about them being very brave. And I think that that I love that for them, because sometimes they make things happen or connections happen that, yeah, maybe they are not the best experiences, but they just went through the experience. You know, they went through the experience, they went through a date, they talked to the guy, and maybe, yeah, they lift the veil, you know, they broke the mystery, you know, they broke the ice, you know. It's like, yeah, I went on a date with him, it was awful, bye, next. You know, something like this. Not so much like, oh, what, I wonder if he likes me. I wonder if we were on a date, how he would be like. You know, it's like, no. And also them being very courageous when it comes to, you know, them seeing men, if they're attracted to someone, it's like, for them, it's like, you know, the fact that I feel attracted to you. I want to come closer to you, and I want to get to know you, and I want to know what you think of me. So they are very honest about it. And if you are not interested, and if you are lying, or if you are not, like, they will be like, okay, you're not interested, okay, bye, I will go to the next, you know. So they don't waste time. They don't waste time. And I think that that's the most admiring attitude that I've seen from Venus in Aries females. But what I did notice about Venus in Aries females is that they get a lot of backlash from other females. They do get a lot of backlash from other females. Why? Because we have this perception that a female shouldn't, like, you are not a lady, quote unquote lady, if you go to the guy and you're like, okay, I like you, should we go out? Like, you know, it's like, oh, a lady shouldn't be like this. A lady shouldn't be like this, you know. And a Venus in Aries is not a lady. Like, she's like, you know, I like that guy. I find them attractive. I like that person or that woman or whatever they are interested in. And they just go for it. You know, they are not waiting for someone like permission. They are very independent in that sense, and they also take responsibility for their actions. They are like, oh, maybe yeah, I was too much, maybe I was too impulsive, but yeah, I went ahead and I did it. You know, that's it. There's like, let's move on. You know, so I think that definitely it's very sad to see that a Venus in Aries woman, sometimes they have to hide their passion or their autonomy or how independent they are or how decisive they are in love because of backlash and criticism coming from other females. You know, they usually like this destroys their ability to be themselves. You know, they're like, oh, so I cannot be honest in here because I'm not lady enough, you know, because Aries, like I mentioned, Aries is ruled by Mars. So it's like the warrior of war. So definitely when they come to you, they're going to come very much like ready to fight you. And you're like, oh, is this a romantic declaration? Are you like being romantic right now? Because I feel like you're angry at me or something like that. You know, so usually they go through this period where they feel like they have to like disguise themselves to not show that actually they are that intense and that they are that resolutive, and that for them is very easy. You know, for them it's very easy. It's like, yeah, I like you, like let's go hang out. Or infatuation is the word to describe a Venus in Aries. I love Venus in Aries, so straightforward. Yes, I can account for Aries being a masculine energy. Yes, Ryujin has always had a lot of backlash. Yes, people assume she has a bad attitude, projections on her. Honestly, yeah. Yeah, it's because of that fire, that she is her own person, you know, and she doesn't wait for others. She's like, okay, guys, I'm ready. I'm going first. I'm going first. What do we always say about Aries energy? They are the first one of the zodiac. They are the initiators, so they will go first. While you all are chatting about the strategy and what should we do, and we should wait, we should see this, we should analyze this, they're like, no, cut it. I'm going first. Like, I'm going first. I don't care how this goes. I'm going. You know, and sometimes there's a backlash, specifically with the concept of feminine. You know, the concept that a Venus in Aries cannot be feminine. You know, and this very narrow, like very discriminative kind of view that feminine is you being submissive, is you being acting clueless and innocent and like, oh, I don't know what to do with my life, you know. And actually, when we're talking about Aries, I have seen a lot of Libra people, like a lot of Libra, since we are talking about, you know, the ones that have the most Venusian energy, like Libra people, Taurus people. Usually these are the Libra female, the Taurus female are the ones that have this sort of criteria, and they usually are the ones that criticize the most when they see someone that has Aries energy, or Sagittarius energy, or Leo. They're like, oh my God, like they have no manners. How can they be like this? Have you seen how they behave? Oh my God, that's not so ladylike, you know? And they have that Pisces also. I have seen them like talk about other females and actually like, you know, condemning them or just like being very critical because accordingly to their perspective, they are not feminine enough, you know. And there's also something that I think that I often talk about this with my Aries friends, female friends, that there's this sense that because the Aries woman is so courageous and so straightforward, sometimes other females see them as a threat, that they're like, oh, they're going to steal my man because they are so into sex and they are so sexy and they are so straightforward that I'm sure that they are going to like, you know, steal my man. They're going to seduce my husband. And I know that my husband won't be able to resist them because they are so easy, you know. And it's like, What does it have to do with anything? Yeah, they're very honest, they're very straightforward, but maybe they're not interested in your husband. Like you, you know, like there's this fear of like they're going to steal something from you, because the reality is that the Aries archetype is like a superwoman. You know, it's like a super female, you know, and the Amazon female, you know, the very strong female that sometimes, yeah, there's a lot of men that are attracted to that, but it's not their intention to go and steal someone's husband, you know. They assume a lot of things, such as bad attitude for not being a typical submissive woman, and the Korean society with the concept of feminine intense. Capricorn, Aries, Sagittarius, and Aquarius are the typical woman. Yeah, exactly, Blue. Yeah. We have something that for other people, like it bothers them, you know, it bothers them. It's like, you know, oh, you're not feminine enough, you know, you're like, and it's like, I don't want to be feminine. And, you know, in my case, I talk about, you know, me being a Capricorn. Actually, they say that Capricorn is a feminine energy, but since it's ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is like the father, it's like the father of the zodiac, sometimes we can come off as bossy. Our energy is very authoritarian, it's very authoritative. So we can look manly, or we can sound masculine, you know. And we always want to assert our dominion somehow. So yeah, we could also be like, yeah, be attacked, like, you know, like, and people being like, oh, you know, you're not feminine enough, you're not soft enough like the others, you know. But yeah. Did I pull a card for Ryujin? No. Oh, I think that I'm talking too much, guys. I consider Capricorn a hybrid sign, feminine at home, but masculine at work. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, I agree. Okay, how can she integrate this Venus in Aries better? She got Mercury. It's very different from what Yeji got. Yeji is a Mercurial Venus. In this case, she got the card of Mercury messages. So in the case, like the way she can integrate this Venus in Aries better is to actually use her Mercury more, you know. Probably not so much going into action to like, because I sense that this Venus in Aries, they are like the type of people that would text you and would be like, can you meet me in 20 minutes? Like, or I'm coming over to see you. You know, they are more about the presence. They are more about moving the body. You know, like I'm making this action to go towards you because I want to see you. I want to be with you. I want to be near you. Like I want to let you know something in presence. You know, but here with the Mercury with messages, I think that there's something about an advice for her to use Mercury more, to communicate better. Probably she's very impulsive as a lover or as a romantic partner, that maybe she does scare people away a bit. So she has to use Mercury more. She has to use Mercury to be able to communicate more her needs. So there will be not like misinterpretations or misunderstandings when it comes to, okay, why did you do that? Why did you do that in public? I don't know if maybe usually Venus in Aries, they tend to meet or be attracted to people that are very, very different to their intensity. So maybe if this person is too shy, for them to not scare that potential partner, for them to use more Mercury. It's like talk to your partner. Talk to them about what bothers you, about what plans you have, think before, before doing an action, before like launching yourself to the situation, before going out there, before, releasing that desire. Just talk about it. Use your Mercury talk with your partner. Talk and you will avoid a lot of headaches in the future. Her Mars is in Sag. Yeah, a lot of intensity, definitely. Okay, let's move on to the Gemini, the other Gemini in the group, Chaeryeong. Chaeryeong also has Venus in Aries. Chaeryeong also has Venus in Aries, and she's a Sag moon. So yeah, the same, the same, the same that Ryujin, the same. It's just that probably for Chaeryeong, since she is a Gemini, there's a bit of playfulness in her, in the way she delivers this Venus. But probably, she has a lot of presence. Specifically, she can be very sexy in the way she moves her body, in the way she can be very sexy. Also, Venus in Aries, this, besides them being passionate, when you have Venus in Aries, you tend to have very voluptuous body. I mean, I know that idols tend to be very skinny, but usually Venus in Aries or Aries placements, they tend to make the women look very muscular, very like strong, very, athletic, So that's also something that it can be like very alluring for the opposite sex, of them being like, wow, you have a great body. And if they have Sagittarius placements, probably their thighs, their legs are their strongest asset, because usually like Sagittarius placements, is the thighs, and they usually have thick thighs. So definitely there's and booty as well. So there's something about them being very voluptuous in the capacity that an idol can have curves. But there's something about the way they move their body, the way they can be very sensual, they can be very there's something about them owning that sexuality as well. It's like, yes, I'm being risky here. Yes, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking about sex when you see me. Yes, I'm being provocative. Yes, I'm open. There's something about them without saying a word. In their body language, there's a lot of sassiness. There's a lot of that strong Martian charisma of I'm seducing you. The way I move my body, what I'm doing with my body, is letting you know that I have desires and I'm a very passionate person, and I'm not hiding it because my body is showing it to you. So. Yeah, definitely for Chaeryeong, it's also like this, it's about her standing out also, she is a moon in Sag as well, so there's something also about her energy, just being very outgoing probably, being very fun, being very fresh air, I don't know much about her, but I noticed that a lot of people ask me for her, particularly. I noticed that a lot of people ask me for Chaeryeong. So I always wonder, what is it about her? I know she's a great dancer. I've seen her. But she definitely has a lot of potential. I think that she could potentially also be a good soloist. I don't know if she has solo projects, but if she has, she probably is she nails it. Being she has a lot of energy. Definitely when you see her, you cannot ignore her. There's something about her being very wild, being very, very sensual, being very, very feminine, but you think that she is a strong female. She can definitely put you to a test. She's not. She's the intensity, there's something about her being very intense, but also very playful, because she's a Gemini. So she's going to go through moods of now I can be sweet, now I can be provocative, now I can be a romantic, now I can be sexual. There's something about her being very, you never know what you're going to get with her, because she is a box full of surprises, and she has that charisma. And she knows it, and she probably uses this a lot on stage. She probably uses this a lot on stage. And honestly, if we think also about Ryujin, that Ryujin is an Aries, I remember, I don't know much about ITZY, but I remember when the first songs that they released, that there's this iconic shoulder move that she does, that, you know, I think that a lot of people were like talking about that dance move of hers, just being in the center and moving her shoulders like this. It's like she commands the stage. You know, she has that, she does that with her body. And probably Chaeryeong does the same. You know, they are very dominant people, even though they can be acting all sweet and you know, I think that they are very strong. Like, there's something about their, like, I don't know about them, and I don't want to compare them, but I would dare to say that probably Ryujin and Chaeryeong are the ones that create the most, like, you know, expressive choreographies or expressive presence, like very strong presence. It's like when you see them on stage, you're like, yeah, these girls, their bodies, their body shape, the way they move, the way they dance, the way they look at the camera, you know, they're so intense that you cannot forget about them because they dominate. They are so dominant, so dominant. She's a gem, honestly. I love her so much. Wannabe, yeah, that one in Wannabe. Yeah, like, but that's the Aries placement, you know, and also that she's an Aries. But it's something about them being very brave, you know, and them being like, yeah, I can be cute and, you know, I can smile for the cameras, but I also, like, you are going to remember me, like, you're going to know who I am, you know, like, and then being probably number one in a lot of things, you know, in a lot of. But yeah, about love, the same that I said for Ryujin, you know, her being very courageous, you know, her being very also honest about, like, yeah, I like that guy, or I like that girl, or, you know, I like to be next to them. So, you know, there's no BS in here. There's no, like, oh, I'm so shy, I don't know what to do. No, they're not like that. The problem about Chaeyeon is that she is very insecure and sometimes displays itself on stage. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. So I wouldn't know because I didn't have the time to observe them. But yeah, when it comes to relationships, honestly, like, I could, if these two are Venus in Aries, I can see them like dating people, even though they are Aries. You know, I can see them, or being actually very open, like online, or just like on a regular interview, and being like, oh, I like that guy, or mentioning someone, you know, and being like, yeah, I like that person, you know, like, not being like, just like lying about it, not disguising it. Okay, how can Chaeyeon integrate better her Venus? Oh, look, she got the seventh house, the house of Libra, relationship. So see, I think that she can actually connect more with this fiery side once she uses this in the relationship. I think that this is a person that, even though, you know, Aries is the opposite of Libra, her passion in relationships and probably her love relationship or her experiences in love is what's going to allow her to be a better partner, you know, because sometimes Venus in Aries is all about, you know, like, okay, like, I feel attracted to this person, I go and I hang out with them and we have these very passionate encounters, and then, you know, it was a moment thing. It was something that I don't know how this is going to go, but I just went for it, you know, and I was very, like, you know, I just follow my heart, and maybe it didn't work out. But I think that in her case, if she allows herself to be in a relationship, even though she can be independent and she also can be, you know, being like, you know, I don't like to be in a relationship. I feel like I cannot be myself. Like, I have to move. Like, you know, Venus in Aries is all about me, what I want. But in the seventh house is like an advice for her to use this passionate energy to be a better partner and to be able to sustain that relationship, to work on that bond. You know, that when she is with her partner, with others, that's how she she evolves, she learns and she grows, you know, when she experiences being in a long-term relationship and not just like, you know, just casual encounters or just like, oh yeah, I like that person, but then I moved on or we just don't talk anymore. No, I think that she's going to be able to feel more passionate if she is able to be in a real relationship, in a long-term relationship, and work on that relationship, not get all anxious and be like, oh, I don't like to be here, I don't like your face, I'm going. Like, I'm done. Like, no, this is about her cultivating her ability to be a good partner, to be an understanding partner, you know, to be like, okay, yeah, you are difficult. Like, there are some moments where I want to kill you, but I'm going to stay anyway with you. I'm going to keep working on the bond. Oh, it's okay, Hope. Thank you for being here. Okay. And we're going to move on to the last one, to, I believe she's a magnet, to Yuna. And she's a Venus in Capricorn. So she's like the first Venus in an earth sign. And okay, she, she got the card of convention, Venus in Capricorn. Convention. So yeah, things are very conventional, guys, are very traditional, very much in the box. Like, you know, it's going, even though I know she is a Sagittarius, I know she is a Sagittarius, I believe that her Mars is also in Pisces, so she's a sweetheart, she's like very fun, very loving, very expressive. But here comes the seriousness when it comes to relationships. Here comes, like, show me your resume, show me your curriculum vitae, like tell me, you know, about your last relationship, how was your you know, like somehow feeling like when I'm with you, I feel like I'm at a work interview or something like that, you know, like being very traditional, probably thinking about potential partner as if this was like a business partner, because this is about building something long-lasting with someone. So it's not so much about like, oh, this is romantic. It's more about what can we build together. You know, we have to be like a society. So what can you add to this connection? Like, okay, what do you do for a living? You know, I do this. This is my numbers. I earn this amount of money. Like, what do you have to bring to the connection? So, hey, Hope, are you in a different? Are you in a different account? Because I don't know. I seen your. But yeah, probably in her case, yeah, she can be very adventurous. But yeah, when it comes to relationships, she's going to be more about like, okay, like I want someone that is very trustworthy, someone that is very hardworking, someone that probably has a business, a career of their own, someone that I feel like I can rely on that person, you know, someone that can put a lot of status and stability to the bond. Like, I'm not, probably, I could see this Venus in Capricorn just being like, her probably like dating someone older, you know, or dating someone that is older than her or probably has more experience than her, someone that is very serious and has this Capricorn vibe, you know, a CEO, like a businessman. And her being like, and you're like, but what did you see in that guy? Because you are so bubbly, you're so hopeful. Like, why are you with that person? And for her, that guy, that older guy, or that, you know, very serious guy, for her is like the apple of her eyes. You know, for her, that's the perfect guy. And you're like, but that guy is so boring. Like, it's not like you at all. But she definitely is attracted to conventionalism. So you're going to see this. You're going to see this. Like her being very traditional, like probably, you know, choosing someone that is very, you you know, is very also traditional, very quiet, you know, very much a workaholic probably, you know, but also someone that is very stable financially and you know, that can support her. So yeah, good for her, you know. And probably, you know, since we have the housing here, there's something also about her wanting to, you know, to continue family traditions. So, you know, maybe if in the family there's a tradition of, you know, of something, she would want to keep the name of the family, you know, or probably, I don't know, to have more businesses. Like, this is a business deal. The magnet with the most grounded Venus. Yes, I remember. I remember people thinking she liked Hyun Kai just because she looked at him. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I was like, but why? Like, that's the thing about these videos is that I understand that you guys want to, you know, they probably you are like, oh, I think I saw them looking at each other. But if you put that, you know, that music, that slow emotion, of course that you're at some point their eyes are going to meet and you're going to make a huge deal about it. Like, and they can be looking at each other because they are young, they are beautiful. Of course, they have eyes, you know, guys, they look at people and they're very young. So yeah, they could be attracted to each other. But does this mean that they are in a relationship? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I think that she definitely, her type is more about, you know, a more conventional kind of guy. And probably she likes older guys, yes. But also, you know, since she is a Sagittarius, there's something about her also being very, you know, being very bubbly and very nice in general. You know, very smiley, very like just energetic and nice. And also she's a magnet. So there's something about them, you know, just like being nice and smiling, you know, and people, it's not that it has to be only directed to the opposite sex. She can be nice with everyone, you know. And um, but yeah, I guess that, yeah, when you are in front of a camera and there's a lot of fans watching, yeah, a lot of like opinions can come up, yeah. But also, yeah, like it's not the Lulu because actually like they have eyes and they are, I often see them like even when they grow up, I see them like at these ceremonies and I'm like, these are like the high school people reunion, you know, because there must be a lot of stories going on in there, you know, but stable relationships, I don't know. I don't know. Flirting, maybe. A lot of like, oh, I want to get your number, I got your number, I text you. That can be a lot of those, yeah. But relationship, I don't know. I don't know. I think that those, especially when they are just debuting, they are so tired. They are so like out of it. There's no time to be romantic or to be, you know, to have time to date. They probably have barely sleep or, but okay. And for her, she got the card of her advice to actually integrate better her Venus. She got the card of Vesta. Vesta. And the keyword is hurt. Hurt, her hurt. So yeah, I think that actually the hurt, it's a very, I believe that Vesta is the like the asteroid of relationships. And I think that you know, Venus in Capricorn, sometimes they tend to be very cold about picking someone, you know, and they often focus a lot on like, okay, like, you know, what do you do for a living, you know, and like they tend to value material things, you know, or they tend to value superficial, not superficial, but, you know, just your ability to be a stable person or a successful person. In the case of Vesta, the card of the heart is like advising her to not forget that she has a heart, that she has emotions and that she has to attend those emotions. You know, that sometimes Venus in Capricorn people are very cold. You know, they are very like, in other aspects of their lives, they can be a sweetheart, they can be the sweetest, they can be the funniest. But when it comes to relationships, they act like old people. You know, this is the Saturn energy, like influencing them. Like they become very serious and they are all about longevity. Like, okay, like I want us to date for a long time. So, you know, I hope that you know that we are going serious, that this relationship is serious, that you are here with me, you know, and I think that sometimes this obsession for stability and what can we build together, you know, it somehow takes away the romanticism, you know, it takes away you know, the possibility to open your heart and just being sensitive, you know, and being emotional and being sweet and being like affectionate. You know, there's something about Venus in Capricorn that and they also tend to be very bossy with their partners. They are very bossy with their partners, you know, and they are very stubborn. It's like, okay, in this relationship, you have to give me what I want. You know, so they get very much on their authoritarian, you know, like, okay, this relationship has to go like this and it has to be like this, and you cannot go out of this square. You know, you cannot go out of these edges. You have to remain in the square. You have to remain in the square. You have to remain, you know, so it's all about, you know, rules and limitations. So with this card of the Oracle of Vesta, that is the heart, it's about like, you know, be emotional, like, you know, allow yourself to feel, like be romantic, like be a bit more sensitive, like this is not all about, you know, giving directions, like, oh, you know, like you're a supervisor. I mean, like, no, in the relationship you're supposed to be like this and this and this. There's no order. Like, you know, be more spontaneous, like chill, relax, relax with the bossing around. Wait, guys, I'm going to close the window because my cat left it open. I have another tarot channel recommendation. It's called Tai here on YouTube. Oh, okay. Okay, guys, I'm going to continue with pulling some cards for this that I have wrote down in here for the people that have been requesting. I have the listing here already. And I'm going to start, I'm using today the After Tarot. I'm using this today. This is the deck. I'm going to, the people that I have written down is the OnlyOneOf as a group that I never read for them, I guess, I believe. Then EXO Dio, EXO Suho, but his career, because I remember the other day I did pull cards for him. And we talk about how he felt about EXO, but in this case it's about his career, because I believe he's also going to learn, like he's going to star a Kdrama. And then for Suzy, but yes, it's also a question about how she's going to do in her next Kdrama. So it's all focused to career. The The only one that is going to be general is for this group, for OnlyOneOf. I don't think I read for them before. Yeah, I have a lot of EXOs here in my channel. Yeah. I was gonna ask you the Venus sign thing, but then as you told me that things will start moving when I'm. I don't understand, Samara. No, there's a lot of lives with EXO. Yeah. a lot of lives of EXO, especially because they have a comeback. So yeah, I'm excited, and yeah, you're going to hear me rant about EXO a lot. But yeah, also is what is okay. Also is what the audience wants. So yeah, since they are very supportive, I follow what they want. I always follow what my subscribers want. Okay, this is the first time pulling cards for this group, OnlyOneOf. We need a cleanser. There are worse, Samara. There are worse. Like, I'm very thankful to EXO. There are other fandoms that I just don't buy with. Okay, for this group, for OnlyOneOf, is there another group that has a very similar name to this? Because I feel like I know who they are, but I'm like, there's another group that has a similar vibe in their name. Yeah, I love them. I love them. Okay. OnlyOneOf, they got 7 of Cups, 6 of Wands. Oh, my. Judgment, 5 of Swords, the Magician. And then from the Oracle, we got the card of Mars in Pisces, Escape. What is going on with these groups and wanting to escape the reality of their group? Honestly, I think that the group is successful. There's a sense of then actually probably they have a strong fandom, because I see them being victorious. Like every time they release something, probably they are very successful. Like, but there's something, I'm getting a lot of Pisces vibe, and I don't know why. I know I have this card in here of Escape, but also with the 7 of Cups. I do get this vibe that the group is full of dreamers, or that the people that manage them is also they tend to dream a lot, and they tend to fantasize a lot, and probably also they have this vibe of relying a lot on the fantasies of the audience, and them being like, okay, like, today I'm going to play this character, And on the next comeback, I'm going to be this as well. So there's something about them just being like entering into people's unconscious. But them as a group, they also like I think that they live in a bubble, that, and they are very lucky. I believe that in the past they had won a lot of recognition, or actually they were able to win something important, and they had taste victory. They know what it's like to be victorious, to be recognized. But then with the judgment here in the middle, I think that this moment, I don't know what they're up to, but there's like a lot of pendant things that are coming to their career that is like, okay guys, like enough of the daydreaming and enough of the fantasy and enough of the, feeding of fantasies and dreamland, like focus, because judgment is coming from you, for you. So I think that definitely, I think that they are very lucky. There's something about them actually not putting that much effort into fitting in with the other groups or style. But then at the end, they get the love and recognition. But they don't make that much effort. Like, I don't know why I'm getting Piscean vibe, like they move very slow, or maybe their choreography is very romantic, or there's something about them, just their lyrics also being very, like, you feel like you are in a dream, like you are in a fantasy. So they are very like soft power, they do not have this style of like, okay, I'm going to seduce this audience with noise music. It's like our style is not about that. Our style is about being sensual and being like, mysterious, and I can be anything you want me to be. There's a lot of Pisces energy. But here with the judgment in the middle, there's the reality. And I think that they are very judged, or literally. When I see the judgment for these guys, I'm like, if they're going to release something new, they're probably like going through a lot of judgment if they weren't judged in the past. I think that the way they introduced themselves to the industry, it was very positive. The fans love them. Like, there's something about like the fans just like being like, okay, this is the style of music, this is the kind of idols that I want, this is my style. So they are the favorite of a lot of people, and I feel like their style is not like the others. But this is why they get the judgment. This is why at the end of the day, there's someone pointing a finger at them. There's like, you cannot be like this, you cannot release this, like this is not appropriate, you should stick by the rules. So there could be like consequences, I remember I got to know about EXO because of a high school friend who was telling me about fan wars. So yes, they can be something, but I love the guys. Yeah, but the fans are actually here, like in the community, the fans are very loving. Yeah, they don't fight. They don't fight each other, thank God. They are very loving. But they do care a lot about the members. They want the members to be okay, and that's why they want readings, because they want to know if the guys are okay. And yeah, we have the Five of Swords. They will have to overcome obstacles. I don't know if but I feel like they're going to succeed at the end because they have the Magician. But I think that they have to overcome a lot of criticism and a lot of judgment from people, or maybe from, the business in general. I don't know if their style is a bit controversial. I don't know. But I think that they are like, we are remaining ourselves. Like, we know that you don't agree, but this is what we do. We are entertainers. We are entertainers. So yes, we fit into the fantasies of the fans, but we are entertainers. This is art. What we do is art. So yes, we can be defeated 1,000 times, but we are going to get back out there. So I see them like trying to get up having fallen so many times. I don't know what happened in here. Um, did they lose a member? Did something happen? Did they have an argument among the members? Because also here with Mars in Pisces escape, there's also a denial about things that had been going on with the group. I don't know. So yeah, they are like, I think that they also, with the card of escape, I think that they are the kind of group that you cannot tell them what to do. Like you think that they, I don't know, maybe if they were like told to do things in a certain way and they were like, I don't know, they got a backlash or they had to modify something about themselves and they're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I will work on this. I will work on this the next time. But eventually they escape people's perception and they escape from what others want them to do. And they end up doing what they want. So that's why I got this this Pisces vibe, because I don't know why I feel like they are these fish that you want to grab with your hands and they're just so slippery that they just jump off your head, off your hand, and you cannot grab them. You cannot, you cannot like keep them still and no, because they have this energy. I think that there's also a level of them not wanting to connect with the reality of a lot of things that are going on. Maybe they are going through some battle, some disagreements with someone, but they have this very strong belief that eventually they're going to go out there and they're going to do what they want. So, and they're going to be the entertainers that they want to be, so yeah, there's no, they think that they will get away with it. So yeah, it's very interesting. I probably should start listening more to them because, yeah. Oh, I think I remember now why I mistake them for other group. There's a group called Wanas that they were in Kingdom. They were in the first Kingdom, not the Wanas. That's what I'm like thinking, that they have similar name, similar word in the name. But it's very interesting that their name is also OnlyOneOf, because it's when I read for them, definitely I got this vibe of like there's only one of us. Like you will not find someone that is doing what we're doing. So they are very rebellious in that sense. They are like escapist. They don't want to be in a box, put in a box. Okay, I'm going to pull cards for Dio. EXO Dio. Oh, a lot of swords. A lot of people. A Capricorn card. He got the Capricorn card. We start with the Ace of Wands for Dio, Knight of Swords, Ace of Swords, Page of Swords, Knight of Wands. And from the Oracle, Mars in Capricorn, Authority. So he definitely had an argument with someone, with the higher up. But I mean, I'm not surprised. This is an SM artist, so I'm not surprised. He had Yeah. He had an argument with someone, and I think that honestly, for him, this period of his time is all about being honest. It's all about like, okay, I don't care what others think about me. Like I'm just going to just be myself, like I always am. And he's going to be very controversial about the way he communicates. Probably, people are going to be very much like oh, he said this, or oh, he communicated this. um, I think that also he's very competitive. I believe that he's also studying. There's something about him. I don't know if he's going to start an acting role or something, but I see him like the beginning of something that it requires of him to study a lot and to concentrate a lot. There's a lot of communication, there's a lot of words, but there's also a lot of resistance. So I guess that there's something about a potential work or project for him that could suffer a bit of resistance. Like him actually wanting to start in something, and him and having people being like, oh no, you cannot do this, or you don't have time, or this was canceled, or this had criticism, so the production was stopped. There's someone that is going to come to stop his learning process, and I think that he's going to be very vocal about it, about his insatisfaction, or about feeling like someone is sabotaging his career. So we have to wait. We have to pay attention to what he says, because I think that Dio has become very brave with the years. Has become very brave, very sharp, very active. It's like I mean, I don't know much about him, but I know that he is very straightforward when it comes to expressing himself. He doesn't say that much. Yeah. Yeah, like I clarified the Knight of Wands and he got the Five of Cups. So there's something about the loss. Him losing an opportunity to do something that he's very much focused. Like he's like okay, like I negotiated with someone about doing this, and all of a sudden someone comes and he's like, no, you cannot do it. So yeah, there's some friction in there. That's what I immediately thought. Sadly, not surprising. Mm. Yeah, I think that honestly this year is he's been very he has a very clear vision of what he wants to do and where he wants to go towards. But I think that here with the Knight of Swords, there's something about that he doesn't have that much experience. So I don't know if maybe this project that he wants, and I see him studying. Like I definitely see him like putting the work, like reading a lot, like gathering information, like talking to the right people. But in the eyes of others, he looks like an amateur. So it's like, yeah, this guy is very smart, but I don't think he can do this. And then I think that there's also something about him having other responsibilities. So, so yeah. About someone being like, no, you forget that you have this to do, So yeah, with Mars in Capricorn, it's the card of authority. Is that he has to follow the rules. He is a Capricorn. So unfortunately, this moment he has to follow what the authorities tell him. And in this case, it could be an SMCO, or it could be a teacher, or it could be, I don't know, his trainer, I don't know, someone that he admires very much, a professor, someone of authority that is like being like, okay, yeah, you have all these ideas, but it's not the time yet. You have, it's like people coming to stop him and being like, yeah, this was fun, that what you said or what you were thinking about doing, but this was cancelled or this was postponed. So yeah, he's going to find like, I think it's a bit sad because he's going to feel like, they don't want him to grow. He definitely is going to feel like a loss, like, okay, like this is not, like I really wanted to do this. I really, like, I'm preparing myself, like, but I think that he has to attend other things before, I don't know if maybe it's with EXO, but they still see him like he still has a lot to go through when it comes to experience. So maybe, I don't know, maybe this has to do about him being an actor, or maybe like, or another project that he has that is not singing, because of course we know that if this is about him being a singer, we know that he has experience, he has mastered this, but it's about maybe another role that maybe the people that are in the selection, that are the people that choose people, are like, this guy is not ready yet. He's not ready yet. And what I love about this is that I see him putting the effort. I see him studying it. Definitely see him studying it. But well, I think that also he's trying to do a lot of things at once. He probably is trying to, just, being busy. I see him like being very much like, okay, there's all this chaos around me. I better study something, or I better go and have different activities, different. I don't know. I better go back to school, something like this, because it seems like for him, knowledge and the intellect is a way of releasing stress. It's like, okay, I better go and read a book, instead of connecting with the drama around me. But he's going to be okay. He's going to be okay. But yeah, he has to follow authority. Probably this year he's going to feel like, like people always tell him what to do, and he cannot be that authority in his life. Him, like the Capricorn that he is, he probably is like, okay, like, I actually, I feel like I'm above these people. Like, I know I have the experience. I know I'm good at what I do. But somehow there always comes someone wiser, someone with more experience, someone with more money, someone with more influence that is like, no, I'm the authority here, and I tell you if you can move on or if you have to stay. Okay, then for EXO Suho career, for this acting career, actually, for Suho. What's going on with this series? Oh, is this a gay drama? Does someone know if this is? I believe it's a gay drama or a movie. A lot of authority and power play in this guy's life. I don't know who they hang out with, but there's a lot of people like asserting their dominion on them and just like moving things from them. Okay, he got the Knight of Wands, King of Swords, the Fool, Eight of Swords, Nine of Swords. And from the Oracle, he got the card of Moon in Scorpio power. I mean, definitely the good part is that he got a king. So I guess that he's not perceived in this industry, he's not perceived as an amateur. He's more like a king, Definitely, from Suho perspective, he had been very busy, very active. I don't know if he had been like also like rehearsing a lot, or I see him like moving himself a lot, like doing a lot of things. He definitely is a busy guy, besides being part of EXO. But he's a guy that he mentally he's well prepared. Mentally he's ready, he's looking at the future. He's like, yes, I still have this project, I still haven't finished this, but yeah, I'm willing to start all over this project here with the full. It's like, this is new, this is something that I'm starting from scratch, so I love this, I want to be part of this. And then we have the then we have all these cards. 8 of Swords and 9 of Swords. So I think that this guy has a lot of fears inside himself. Probably is in his mind, he has a lot of fears. So I don't know if maybe there's something about this project or this acting gig to be very different from what he had done before, and there's something about him feeling a bit stuck, like very nervous, feeling like, oh, like, you know, maybe he makes one mistake, he cannot let it go. He gets very obsessive about, okay, what will people say of me? And he's like, oh, you know, like even not being able to rest properly, you know, just being very hooked to, I don't, it's just that I think that there's something about this project here with the Fool, that there's a lot of things about this that it's very new. So maybe it's very different to the way he has, or the style that he has to work. It's very different. So there could be some things that could potentially make him feel insecure. Some unexpected things happening in the script. There's a lot of source in here, so it's definitely about information. So him feeling very disorganized in his mind, he feeling very distracted, like, how come I made this mistake? How come I cannot remember this? You know, like definitely, and there's something also about this project being very new, and him not being able to find like the right balance, like I don't know if he feels like he's lost, like he's unprepared, like he's not ready, like there's something that he doesn't understand about this role that he's going to do. There's something that, you're about to be sick of me. Everglow is gonna have a comeback. Oh, that's great. Finally, like, yeah, it's great news. It's great news. I think that I pull cards for them. I think I did. Yeah, they're amazing. I like them, but I didn't hear about them for a while, so I was like, okay. What is this insecurity about? Empress. I don't know, maybe the conditions. Does anyone know something about this K-drama that he's going to be in? Like, maybe the conditions of this K-drama is not that glamorous, or it's not that prosperous. So it's very challenging. Like, it's very challenging. It's very challenging. For him, it's like, I don't know if maybe the place, or, but it distracts him. It's like he makes him feel a bit claustrophobic, and probably makes him feel like have mistakes. But he will be all right. It's just that I think that the beginning, it could be, I don't know, could it be that he was like promised something? You know, he was promised something, and all of a sudden, once he starts working, he's like, oh, this is not like what they promised. Yeah. Yeah, and also probably there's a diva in there. There's someone that has like a diva behavior that is making things very annoying for him. But yeah, he has the card of Moon in Scorpio that is about power. So, you know, like the EXO song that says power, I think that he has to connect with his power. He has to connect with, you know, defeating these fears. Defeating these fears. Defeating these fears. He can do it. He can do it. He can do it. Definitely he can do it. It's just that probably he's too much in his mind and he can get a bit obsessive about certain things not being in the correct order or just like triggering some uncomfortable feeling in him, being like, okay, I don't feel safe here, you know. Um, Probably with the Fool here in the middle, I sense that is this project very amateur, like not amateur, but is this like a wild project, like maybe the concept is different and they want to keep being different, and he's like, yeah, I get it, but I am having trouble concentrating because I don't understand the assignment, because the assignment keeps changing all the time. So my mind, and we're talking here about a Gemini. We're talking about a Gemini sun. So for him to feel like this, I'm like, what is he getting himself into? Like, but yeah, with the moon in Scorpio, it's like he has the inner power to overcome this. Definitely, he can overcome this. He can do it. Okay. For Suzy, another actress idol. About her next K-drama, how it's going to go. Yeah, me too. I lost track on them. I was like, oh, I mean, I didn't hear anything like, you know, like them disbanding or anything. But I was like, okay, if I don't have news, I will wait. Like I didn't like since I don't know much about them, I didn't want to like get paranoid and be like, oh, what's going on? But I had the feeling that they were going to come back. Just that, I don't know. Okay. Suzy got, for her career or next K-drama, she got 9 of Wands, the Star, 5 of Wands, the Moon, Jupiter in Aquarius, Innovation. Oh my God, like, why every time I read for this woman, I get this feeling that they make it very difficult for her. Like, she is a star, definitely. Like guys, what can I tell you? In whatever project she's in, she's going to be successful. She's going to be like the main attraction because she has the star. So, but this doesn't mean that it doesn't come with the struggles. Starting with the 9 of Wands, I think that there's something about her being very brave and just like remaining strong despite of having a lot of arguments and disagreements with people. I think that her career is not, I don't know if it's not managed by people that are very consistent, but I think that they push her too much to the limits. I see her like having to defend herself all the time, and oppositions all the time, and fears behind everything. So I don't know who manages this woman, but I definitely don't see stability. I don't see stability about this K-drama. Probably, yeah, she's going to face a lot of obstacles. I think that they are more like physical, because I don't know if this K-drama is it a romantic K-drama, because I don't see cards that are like, oh, this is a romantic K-drama. There's some action here, so I don't know if maybe her character has to do some training, has to move her body a lot, like run, like, you know. But definitely, like, I see her like just like being very brave and being like, okay, I'm tired, like physically, feeling very demanded, feeling like, oh wow, I went through so much for this role, But actually, since she got the card of the star, it's like, she's going to come out beautiful anyways, But there's this feeling of like, okay, in order to do this, I had to put a lot of my physical stamina, or I had to put a lot of effort, physical effort. And with the Five of Wands, there's also like a lot of ego clashing. So I don't know if maybe she is in this project with co-stars or people that are just difficult. And they all have these strong fire placements. So I don't know if they're all fire signs, but there's a sense of like, I'm going to be the best, or I'm going to get the best shots, or, oh, I think that you are in here because you are a pretty face. There's something about her also defending herself, because she shines. She's a star, she has the face of a star. So, but there's also like a strong fire. There's also like a lot of opposition. There's like a lot of opposition. I think that things are very challenging for her, are very challenging. And with the moon card, definitely, I think that people are just petty with her. They are not. They don't tell her things to her face. And she definitely, after she finishes, she gets this feeling of like, oh, they were hiding something from me, or they just don't include her. There's something about like a very awkward dynamic between the members of the cast in general, because of this clash of egos. But I don't know. I think that yeah, like with the moon card, I'm getting like people lie to her, or they keep her on the dark. They don't give her all the details. There's no clarity in here. And I don't know if they do it on purpose to expose her and be like, oh, really? You didn't know about this? But we told you. Sort of like gaslighting, something like that. Yeah. And she feels very emotional also about it. She feels like, oh, okay, like a bit sad about it. Like, you really, like, you guys are like this? I really like, that's so not nice, But yeah, she's a queen. Like, I mean, she's going to, I think that she's going to be loved. Like, everything that she is in, people just love her. And also here with the card of Jupiter in Aquarius, innovation, there's this feeling of her actually like introducing an innovation with this project. So I think that even though there's a lot of oppositions towards her, and she can be very exhausted, like physically, she's going to, actually probably she's going to show a different side of herself. And probably people are going to praise her for this, for bringing innovation in a K-drama. Or for, just displaying a sort of character that was never seen before coming from her. So definitely it's just that I think that there's a part of her that also here with the card of innovation, I'm like, her behavior is also very weird, like, but not weird like bad, but weird different, And I think that this is what confuses people. because they're like, oh, but she's a star, why is she like that? And they somehow just want to, I don't know if they want to provoke her or they expect a reaction coming from her, but she's just very sweet. She's just minding her own business. You know, she doesn't gossip. You know, she doesn't take anything personal. But I think that criticism does get to her eventually. It does get to her. So, yeah, like. But there's something hidden. There's something hidden about this project. There's something that we don't know, that probably it could be exposed. There's something hidden about this project. I don't know why. It gives me bad vibes. Like there's something that they do not tell her. Hope I want to clarify the user for hope, no, for peace. Is it hope? Because there's another user that says hope, and I want to know if this is our hope. Because there's another user that is called hope, and I always confuse you too. For peace, it's hope user. Because there's another one that came in a while ago. Ah, hope got 2 accounts. Okay. Because there's, okay. Because I'm like, I'm talking to the person and maybe it's not hope. Maybe it's someone else. It's me, I was on my, okay. Okay, Samara, before I go, do you want me to pull cards for Everglow? Before I go? Okay. Okay, for Everglow. Fast. This is coming fast. Probably it's the news. Wow, who is this guy that is financing this? There's a new guy. There's like an investor. There's like someone new that is the one that is bringing the money to do this. And they got... If it turns to be like, no, look, they got the 8 of Wands, King of Pentacles, 2 of Cups, the Sun, and Knight of Swords. And from the Oracle, they got the card of Sun in Aries, assertion. So a lot of like power, like concentration of power, and it's like, okay, here we go, here, this is the goal, here, over here. Honestly, this 8 of Wands could be the news, could be something like, there's someone new, there's a man, there's someone new, like someone with money, someone influential that is like, okay guys, you got it. And there's something about, you know, emotional bond, you know, there's like a reunion, a reconciliation, you know, it's like, okay, we are together, we are coming back together, you know, we are reuniting, we are united. This is very emotional. Besides this being like, okay, we are getting back out there, it's more about like, okay, we feel safe finally we feel emotionally taken care of. We feel like recognized. We feel like someone cares about us. With the sun is, yeah, probably is, if they're in summer, you guys are in summer, the sun also, you know, about going out and just going out of a very dark period, of a very cold period, and just seeing the light finally. The Knight of Swords is probably the concept, or if they do something, is going to be very much like fighting in the lyrics, like in the sense that it can be very sharp, it can be directed to a certain enemy, you know, them talking about their struggles or their fights, them also being very honest about, you know, what this means to them, being very straightforward in the lyrics, very powerful, you know, ready to cut some heads, you know, and getting very competitive. I think that they have a target, not specifically, you know, like, oh, they want to defeat a certain group, but they here with the card of assertion, they are not coming back to play. They're not coming. They are not here to play. They definitely are here to be dominant, you know, to be like, okay, yeah, we know that there's a lot of competition, we know that there's a lot of new faces, but we are the rulers of this. So they probably are coming back with the concept that is very like strong and powerful, you know, very much like asserting their dominion, you know. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. They are very happy also. You know, well, with this Two of Cups, it's like it's very sweet. You know, it's very sweet. It's like someone like comforting them and them comforting each other. You know, being like, okay, we're ready. We are doing this. We are doing this. But I definitely think that it has to do with this person. It has to do with this guy. This guy is making it happen. Is making it happen. Or maybe, I don't know, if it's a member in the group, it could be an earth sign in the group. But since this is a king, I get older man vibes. I don't get like a member or, you know, the leader. I get a guy, a man that is very powerful. And he's like, okay, there you go, you can do it, go ahead, like, you know, like, also I want to see you shine, so go out there, show yourself, like, show up. But yeah, it's going to be, you know, this summer is going to be very, you know, they have to fight, because probably the competition is going to be very harsh, you know, because I see them having to fight for a place, for number ones or for their position, you know. Will it be successful? I mean, it can be successful because it's going to open the doors for more projects. You know, it's like opening the door again for them to continue working on other plans. But here with the judgment, I think that there could be some judgment coming from the audience. You know, some like people being like, oh, really, you're here? Like, oh, I didn't know you were here. You know, something like people judging them. So I see that for them it's about like, you know, getting back in action. You know, it's about going out there. It's like, I don't care about, you know, and honestly, they have like their plans are already on the way. Like definitely they are working on this. Like they have the fire and the desire. But this is a sort of like here with the judgment is also a card that is like bringing them down to reality and facing reality. It's like if they had been gone for a time, or if they had been absent, of course that it's not that they're going to come back and things are going to be all for them. No, with the judgment is more like, okay, you have to face that ever since you weren't here, things have changed. And you know, these are decisive moments for the people, you know, for the groups. So I think that they could get a bit of criticism. They could get a bit of criticism, or just people like being like, "Oh, you're here," you know, like being a bit like judgy. But for them, it's all about starting, you know, and just getting the plan, you know, to move. But they have a plan. But about success, I think that, I don't know. I think that also they are not aiming so much for success. I think that they want to reconnect with the audience. They want to keep expanding. It's not. It's like if they are not number one, they don't care. Like they just want to keep advancing. You know, that's because they know that. I don't think that they're going to get backlash or criticism, but there's something about the audience being a bit. Like, it's like, okay, guys, we have to talk about you being gone and the consequences. But yeah. Okay, guys, I have been here for 2 hours and 22 minutes, so I'm going to go. So yes, thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for the request, and this was fun. So yes, have a great weekend, like enjoy yourself, rest, and take care of yourself. Bye.